crazy out here, man. I mean, there's a lot going on in the streets. There's a lot going on in the ghettos of the mind. I'm saying I write rhymes. Check. Feel my pain like it was yours. Crack addicts busting right through my doors. Bleeding on my lawn, I'm destined to be great. I swear, Jesus, read it on my palm. Tipsy, I'm calm, then I blow up like Vietnam bomb.
Yo, guess who's back? Me and Paulie, and we're up to no good.
Up to no good, man. I'm telling you.
The fuck did you think this was? You think we were leaving? Like, so this is what happened, folks. I got caught up doing a bunch of stuff, as some of you know. Like, I went through school. Paulie's been doing a lot of work. He got into a fucking car wreck. Everything has not been working in favor of the show. But it has in the same light because we've been working on it behind the scenes. And the Mama Luke's is coming soon. It was supposed to come in March. It didn't.
Hey, what happened, man.
Hey, you know, what are you going to do? Eh? I said my piece, crazy.
I said my piece, Chrissy. Go ahead, man. Keep it going, man.
If you don't know what that's from, you are broken. That is from The Sopranos. I see we got people tuned in, so go ahead and leave. So here's the thing: if I'm broadcasting from multiple channels, I can only see Facebook comments from my Facebook page and from the YouTube channel. So if you're on Paulie's Facebook page, come over to mine or go to the YouTube channel if you want your comments to be seen. So, yeah, word is born, son. So, yeah, how's life going, Paulie?
Oh, man, life is great, bro. Here's the thing, man. I got my parents coming over tomorrow. They're in Arizona, in Flagstaff, Arizona, as we speak. And that's about 4 hours from where I live here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I'm looking forward to having my parents with me. And I got the kids here. So, I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
For some reason now, every time I think of Flagstaff, Arizona, I think of the Outback Steakhouse because that's the only thing I've ever done in Flagstaff was stop and go to the Outback with my grandmother. My grandmother and my grandfather retired. They moved to Texas after they retired, right? They actually moved to New Mexico where you live. They moved to Los Lunas.
Yeah, Los Lunas. Los Lunas is it's a little shitty town on the outskirts, but you know what? A lot of people are from there, and one of the best burrito places in town it's called Burritos al Instante.
Okay.
People from all over the world travel to have these fucking burritos, bro.
That deep?
Yeah, it's that good.
Do they use those famous New Mexico what are the chili?
Yeah, they throw that green chili shit in there, bro. But let me tell you right now, it's that damn steak, everything, man. It's on another level. It's like In-N-Out compared to like Sonic or some shit, man. It's damn good.
So let me tell you though, man, I love New Mexico. My grandmother moved out there. They had their house built. And this is in the 90s when you think real estate, because I've been looking at real estate in the Albuquerque area and it's now. So I can only imagine how in the 90s when they decided to have a house built from the ground up on new development, how cheap that was.
Oh,
my grandmother she designed this entire house. It was fucking beautiful. My grandfather had an office in the house that looked like the president of the United States, a flag on either side. We used to make fun of him for it, right? Because he really thought he was a powerful man, but he was retired. That was just his way of dealing with the fact that he was retired from the Navy. And so it was crazy, man. She had the foyer or foyer, whatever you want to call it, everything going on. My grandmother hated this house because she forgot to add a linen closet in the plan. Hated it.
Let me tell you something about life out here, man. The beauty of living out here in this area is I was coming from LA County, and when I first walk up to a grocery store and somebody says, "Good morning, how are you?" I'm like, "Man, what the hell you want, man? Shit." I mean, that's how it throws you off completely. It's a giving, people are just all about giving and loving. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, for instance, I was out at Hooters tonight and having a great time. And John, one of the owners, and just people around me. It's like, man, it's like you even try to pay for a drink. They're buying you a drink. Man, I never experienced anything like that. I lived in LA. I've lived all kinds of places in my life, man, but I never experienced any kind of love like that, until I lived here. So, that's the way it is out here, Darko.
It's different vibes, definitely. Like, they're dicks out here in Cali, but they're pussies about it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
no shit.
You go to New York, you go to New York or New Jersey, they're straight up dicks and they don't care who knows it.
They don't care.
You can at least respect that. Out here, they're like shady about it. They're like, under their breath, behind their back. It's really lame. Like California, it used to be a thing of pride to be from California. And now it's like when you tell people that I'm from California, like you gotta say it on the low because it's just
Well, it's like the times I've been in New York. I mean, come on, man. Look at this shit. Time I've been in New York. It's like people don't realize those walkways are their freeways, man. And when you're fucking a damn tourist and you're over here taking pictures and acting a fool, standing in their way, you're gonna get cussed out, man.
Yeah.
You got to respect, where you're at. But here, it threw me off completely. I couldn't get over how friendly and kind and loving the people are here, man. It blows me away. Everywhere I go, whatever I experience, it's like I'm like, damn, man, I didn't know this stuff even exists anymore, man. So I'm telling you, it's on a whole nother level out here.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So before we get into the main topic of today's discussion, it wouldn't be without covering the news, right? So there's a lot going on in the news, I feel like, but then there's also not. Like, you guys know me, I'm very, I don't want to say bipartisan. I think both political parties are full of shit. But fucking Charles Barkley said the realest shit recently. You know what I'm talking about?
Tell me about it. Come on. Love it.
It's funny because, he gets marked a lot as a guy who says a bunch of shit that's like taboo. When did telling the truth become taboo? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he basically just said, that politics and politicians are here to divide and conquer. That's how you control people. And I've been saying that all along. But the guy that was in Space Jam, the all-star player in the Phoenix Suns, he said it. So it must be true. And he's friends with Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time. So
and on top of that, he comes out and basically calls out the entire state of Texas and says, Kenny, you got those big old women down there in San Antonio. They be eating them churros all the time. He doesn't hold back, man. And that's one thing I love about Barkley is the fact that not only was he one of the top 50 greatest players to ever play, but he says what he believes in. And he said they got some big old women down there in San Antonio.
It's crazy because I keep it that way. And then like on my other shows, like the other day I made a joke, basically calling a 4.0 earthquake. I compared it to a porn star getting a 4-inch dick. And everybody was like, it's so weird because I'm not used to that. That's not how I came up, but I get it. I got to filter myself a little bit for other people. But in other news, our president's son is a crack fiend, which don't you miss the days of when presidents' kids couldn't do shit? Like they just had to look all good on TV and get straight A's and shit. And now they're smoking crack, talking about how, and here's the thing. Crack has always been known as the poor people drug, which is something I don't get. This little silver spoon-fed white boy developed a crack addiction. And this is how you know it's a silver spoon-fed white boy when he's talking about confusing Parmesan cheese with crack. Because you ain't never heard that problem in the hood. Like, it's come on. You know what I mean? Listen to this.
I've always thought that, like, you know what? You get Malia, look, okay, like Obama's daughters, for instance, you get them in a situation. I know, from what they present to us, they're clean and clean cut and this and that. But you put them in a frat situation, man, a bunch of cute little frat boys around them and this and that. Come on, man. You know what's going to, man, come on, man. Like, they're not going to cut loose and have a good time. Shit.
I don't think they can, though, because you got to remember, these kids got Secret Service following them for the rest of their life. You don't think Obama's like sliding the Secret Service dudes like, here's a couple extra $100. You make sure my daughters don't get in any shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I wish Clinton would have done that with Chelsea, man. Poor Chelsea, bro. She had it rough, man. I think the highlight of Chelsea's career was she was on Beavis and Butthead's movie, man. When
I see you at breakfast.
when they walked in, they saw her in a room. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. I see you have braces. I have braces too.
And the funny thing is being from Albuquerque, living here in Albuquerque. Mike Judge, who obviously
right?
He's from here.
Yeah.
And when you're watching the show and you see Highland High on there, Highland is actually an actual school here in town. And him and Steve O went to school together, man. So I drove by Highland today. I was working today and I drove by Highland today. So, every time I see that, man, I always think of that guy, man.
I think it's funny though, just how he captured like that 1990s middle-aged alpha male. That ain't you them two bastards that have been fucking off in my tool shed? Like,
man, you're going on. Yeah, I like the way he had.
It was Mr. Anderson, and then there was when he did King of the Hill, Hank Hill. Like, yo, me and my uncle used to just sit back and watch that and just crack up because it's so real.
Oh, it's so real. And then and then not only that, you get the PE teacher like me. I grew up in Gilroy, California, which is in the Bay Area, and I had a coach named Coach Fahey, and he was a football coach. And all he ever did was talk shit to people that didn't play football. He's like, you got your football team, you get out, And so then you watch Beavis and Butthead, and you get what's his name, the one guy, the PE coach, and he's like, Beavis and Butthead, that guy, bro. I mean, I loved him, man. I will harm you, I love.
I like when there was one episode where they were like at the gym. And Butthead was supposed to be spotting for that meathead dude, and like he gets distracted by some chick, and the thing like falls on the dude's neck, and he comes out and he's all bruised up. He's like, "Hey, you were supposed to be spotting me," and Butthead's like, "There you are."
You know what? And it's kind of leading into what we're gonna talk about eventually, but. You look at the way programming was set up for us guys, in the 90s and 80s, 90s, and you look at the way that things were set up. I mean, it was just like it was all just combined together, man. It was music and shows. I mean, MTV just had it down, man. I mean, they really did. I mean, I'll talk a little shit saying Yo MTV Raps was kind of held back a little, and it was like late night, and you'd have to stay up till like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night.
Compared to now, like you won't even get the content you would see on Yo MTV Raps. For example, I was in class. I've been in school, for everybody that doesn't know. I was in school, and I put up a picture of me when I was like 10 years old, right? And somebody made a comment about the hair, and he was like, "Oh, I remember that haircut. I think I played that kid in touch football." And I came back with it, and I had to remember, dude, like and I didn't at the time. I should have, but I'm in a very PC class. You know, I've had to like filter myself a lot as I'm going through this school so I don't get kicked out, right? This dude's like, yeah, I think I played touch football with that guy. I was like, bro, you didn't grow up in the same era then, because I played queer.
Yeah. And you remember that game, man? I remember like handball where, yeah, it was kind of like, was that Smear the Queer? Where
you basically get a football and whoever has it gets just wrecked.
No, so the one we used to play was the one where it was a handball. And, you know, okay, so part of my earlier life, I grew up in Southern California. Big Cholo influence, Mi Vida Loca, blood out type shit.
Yeah.
And it was handball. They had these big handball courts in the school. And you would throw the handball, and if you grabbed it, you would throw it back. But if you dropped it, you had to run and touch the wall before somebody would hit you with it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you didn't touch the wall, then you'd have to stand there, and everybody would get a turn to hit you with the ball in the back of the fucking head in the back. And I thought, man, that was some bullshit, bro. I remember that shit. But, you know, that's why we are the way we are, man. Look how we grew up like that, man.
It's character building.
Crazy.
Character. I try to tell people that all the time. Like, you know, there's all these, like, phone numbers you could call. Like, if you're getting bullied, call this number. Like, what kind of is that, dude? Like, if my kid gets bullied, I'm not even lying to you. You can call this bad parenting or not. I don't care. My kid comes home and says, hey, I'm getting bullied. Yeah. I'm going to tell him. Punch that about it? Fucking dick. I don't care, dude. Like, get uneven with it, bro. It's like I was bullied as a kid. Okay, like bad. I was the small kid up until high school. Yeah, and exactly, John, my man. You whip his ass straight up. I got bullied daily, and when it stopped being able to be just one person bullying me, I started getting jumped. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, man, and I don't like to like brag on this too much. I ended up having to go to anger management over it. There was a kid cracking jokes in the middle of class, and then he like found a way to kind of, you know, work him into the lesson basically when he answered questions. I told him, I walked up to him, I was like, yo, this shit needs to stop, man. And he kind of giggled and was like, okay. He did one more. And you remember those desks that were like L-shaped with the cash? Yeah. There was one in between us and it was empty. And I just remember picking that thing up and going, boom, just over the top of his head. Did it again. And then, you know, it was, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they were basically saying I was trying to kill the guy. I wasn't trying to kill him,
but you know what? I'm with John V, the guy that just chimed in right now. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget, man. Never forget this guy, man. His name. I'll put it out there right now because he wants to talk shit and he happens to hear this show. I'll fucking come on, hey, where I'm not a little kid anymore. But anyway, this guy Ernesto Solario. I'll never forget that name. This guy used to come in the locker room during basketball practice. And he'd smack us all. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like some fag shit, bro. I mean, I hate to say that. I know.
I know. Go ahead and say it.
Correct. But he'd go up and smack us in our ass with a fucking wet towel. And man, that shit was painful. Smack you in the back and everything. And finally, it got to a point where he tried to take my shoes one day after he smacked me. And I said, oh, hell no. You're not going to take these from me, man. My fucking pops paid for these, man. You're not taking them. And he said, well, bullshit. I'm going to take them right now. And you know what? It was a matter of standing up and having some balls. And that's what my dad taught me as a young kid. And you know what? I look at a lot of kids nowadays, man, where, you know, it just breaks my heart.
Rewind real quick, Paulie, because what a lot of people aren't understanding is the parenting aspect of this too. Yeah. If that dude would have got your shoes, you would have had to also answer to your dad.
To my dad.
Would have been happy about that. I've met your dad. He's an OG. Like, people say OG, they throw that term out loosely. No, Paulie's dad is a fucking OG. You put some respect on that man's name, and you will treat him with respect. Yeah. I mean, this dude,
29-year decorated military vet, old school Chicano, grew up in the days where you settled shit with switchblades. And he just was a tough kid. And imagine opening your mailbox at the age of 19 and you get a letter in the mail saying you're being deported, and you're like, next thing you know, you're on a flight to Fort Lewis, Washington, and from Fort Lewis, Washington, you're in Vietnam and you're fighting for your life. That's my pops. So you think I'm going to let a guy take my shoes and have to deal with that? You're nuts, man. Nuts.
Yeah, no disrespect to the current soldiers that are, out fighting and defending our country, but Vietnam was a different animal. Like, these guys this was hand-to-hand combat in most cases. You're talking about. They were putting, like, the Viet Cong were crazy. They would put, like, shit on sharp sticks so that it would develop some sort of disease so that American soldiers would step on it and catch the disease. You're talking about Agent Orange, all this other, not about Trump. I'm talking about the actual Agent Orange. It was crazy, man. So your dad was doing it. But to your point, what you were saying here is nowadays kids don't have that sense of I need to stand up for myself. I always looked at my experience being bullied as a kid as a rite of passage. It's definitely a rite of passage because it taught me a lot about the world. You know what I mean? And that not everything's just going to come to you. And here's a good point right here. John V again, man. Rather than teach our kids not to bully, I chose to teach them to stand up for those who cannot and then hunt the bully out.
Hunt the bully out.
Your ass. A good beat.
Let me tell you, man, John, I'm not even a Niner fan. John V's earning some damn points in my book today, man.
Yeah.
So word up, man. John V, I love it, man. Keep it up, man. That's some great shit.
So, John, let me kick you a little story here. So by the time I got done being bullied, pretty much that desk situation sealed the deal on me not getting bullied anymore. I mean, that's how I got the nickname Donnie Darko. That movie kind of came out shortly after. And they're like, oh, that's the crazy kid. And that I didn't give myself that name. I think that shit's corny when people like themselves nicknames, but I was in high school and I remember, there were some of those kids that like were just hella smart and were always answering every question in class. So for the classes I would show up to was like world history. I was always a big history buff. I showed up to math because there was like a hot chick in there. And that was about it, and if I would, other classes I'd show up to, I'd sell some weed and leave. But I remember being in class one day and there was this kid. He looked like Chandler from Friends, but like an infant version. This dude hadn't hit puberty yet or something, but he's in high school, right? Yeah. And he's answering every question. What I don't understand is all these fucking douchebags are like getting offended by it. Like, well, why does he got to answer every question? Well, why don't you answer a fucking question, dipshit? So they were doing this thing where they put staples in between their teeth and then like shooting them at the kid. And then he was just,
I think I remember that.
Yeah. So he was ignoring it. And then it got to a point where like they would walk by with rubber bands and just bam, right on the back of his neck. And I remember one day I was kind of just letting it slide, like watching it. And I just remember one day seeing this kid had like tears in his eyes, but he wasn't breaking. He was not going to, he wasn't letting them see it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. So I started balling up paper. And the same dude, and I'll never forget it. And fuck him, dude. I'll say his name right here. His name was Kenny. So literally, he's sitting there, and I stand up and just straight up Randy Johnson baseball pitch that piece of paper. And I put like erasers in it to make it harder. And I just pegged him upside the head. This fucking douchebag stands up. Who was that? And I'm sitting there just chilling. I'm like, it was me. What are you going to do about it? Oh, yeah, you'll see. You'll see. I was like, yeah, I bet I will. And it became a point after that where anytime he did something to that kid, I would do something to him.
Yeah.
So that kid actually eventually one day came up and it was like, we were way out of school and I ended up seeing him years later. And by the way, this dude's very successful as they always end up being. So he came up to me. He was like, dude, you were always nice to me in high school. And I appreciate that, man. Cause he's like, you have no idea how bad I felt all the time. Like, he's like, you don't know what it's like to be the kid that like sees this pretty girl, but I know for a fact I will never be able to get her. He's like, I can now, but back then I just didn't see this future for myself. You think everything's based around high school.
Yeah.
So, by the way, that dude can probably fuck your wife now. So Kenny, shout out to you.
Hey, but you know what? I'm gonna bring up a point right now that you and I just talked about earlier, where you and I grew up. That people don't realize, you know, you talk now, everybody's so sensitive when it came to shit. People don't even realize, bro, like where you and I grew up, you had, like we talked today. We were just talking about it. You had your rich little your white clan that would bully the fuck out of you. Then you had your cholos. Then you had your middle class, people like us, where we had, I used to share clothes with my friends because we didn't want to look like we were wearing the same shit every day.
Yep.
And man, having to fucking go through an environment like that, you want to talk about fucking life altering. These kids today couldn't handle what the fuck we went through. Let me tell you right now, man, it was like you wore a shitty pair of jeans. They're going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was brutal, man. But you know what? We made the best out of it. And it made, I'm not going to lie to you, it made me the man I am today. It really did.
Oh, absolutely. You know? It's come to a point now where, like, I think people look for shit to be offended by at this point. But
no doubt.
My boy, this dude is the guy that got me into the entertainment industry. I actually hope he's watching. Ken Sorrell, dope motherfucker, man. He's like a brother, but he grew up in DC. He's a Redskins fan, and yeah, he said Redskins, shoot me. Oh my god,
dude! I can't believe they got rid of that name. Anyway, go ahead, man.
You know what's worse than the Redskins? The fucking Washington football team. What kind of shit? Like, that's offensive to me.
Man, come on. And the Braves get to be the Braves?
You know what I mean? And I saw some asshole. You know what was funny is all the people picketing that name, like, oh, it's racist.
And the Seminoles get to be the Seminoles?
Yeah, well, but look at all the people picketing that name and offended by it. They're all white people. Or I have like 1/16 Native American in my blood, so I'm going to go ahead and be offended by it. There was no disrespect on the name. There never was. And if you ask any real Native American, it was a thing of pride for them.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, look, Donnie, I live here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There's Pueblos everywhere around here. I've I've never been around Native people before in my life till I moved here.
Yeah.
And the Redskins, that's like a thing of pride for them, man.
Yeah.
They like that shit.
Well, so here's what it was. And I hear people adding extras onto that name, like saying that it's what they called when they scalped the Native American, like that's what happened. No, it's not. So the term for when Native Americans started ingratiating themselves into not Western culture, but English culture, European culture, and speaking English, their name for the white man was either paleface or white man, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So people were very, like, I'm not saying that they were, you know, a lot of what they did was okay, but they were very segregated back in the day. Mm-hmm. So the way you would use to describe somebody that was different was by their color, which, hate to break it to you, you're still doing today.
Yeah, no doubt.
I have to fill out the bubble that says white. I'm Italian American. I take a lot of pride in that. Why do I got to be a color, but everybody else gets a American, whatever the fuck it is? You know what I mean? I'm not complaining about it, though. It is what it is. I don't give a shit. I got better shit to worry about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, you know, not to get off track of what we were saying, it all ties in to what we were talking about when it comes to bullying. You know, it's like I'll never forget, man. I'll never forget growing up and playing basketball in Gilroy, California. And these rich white boys, bro, who I considered friends, would talk shit about, you know, the shoes that my pops or my mom would buy me because we could afford all my parents could afford was maybe like $20, $30 shoes when they were getting the $70 shoes back in that day. And that's a lot of money to pay for Air Force Ones or whatever the fuck we were wearing back in that day. But, you know, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little traumatizing. It really was, man. But it made me to the point where I'll never forget, as an adult with 2 kids growing up, I remember going through those experiences and spending $100 and some on KD shoes just to make sure that my son wasn't picked on. So that's the kind of shit that people don't realize, man.
But if it's not that, it's something else. Like kids are brutal. Well, I don't know what they're like nowadays, except all I see kids doing nowadays is complaining.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're like now, but back then it was everybody got it from some angle or another. Like it's you brushed it off. And one of the things you discover as a kid is if you come with a good comeback, that's all it takes. That's all it took. You know what I mean? That's how I learned to talk shit so well. We used to, I know not a lot of people know about this, but we used to play the dozens. The dozens was when you would go a dozen rounds back and forth with somebody in a circle, talking shit to each other. Your mama's so fat, your mama's so dumb, blah, 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 type of stuff.
Combat boots, all that shit. We used to go back and forth, remember?
Yeah.
Your mama's teeth so yellow she could butter a whole loaf of bread. All that bullshit, remember?
Yep, so fat she sat on rainbows Skittles popped out. But that turned into
wait. What was the last? How did that last one go?
Say, your mama's so fat she sat on a rainbow and Skittles popped out. That's an old one, man.
Hey, what about your mama was so fat she wore a Malcolm X fucking hat and a helicopter landed on her? Remember that shit?
Yeah. Those were popular too back in the 80s. For those who don't know, a Malcolm X hat was a thing.
Oh shit. You better believe it. But going back though, I did have poor white friends though too. And I had my best friend, I still talk to him to this day, his name's Joe. And he lives in Missouri now. I mean, I love him. I love him like a brother. But him and we used to exchange clothes just so it looked like we had different clothes.
Oh, yeah. We used to do that all the time back in the day. The only problem is you always had that dumbass friend who would like borrow your shit, and he would always be the one to put stains on it. Yeah. We had that guy. Douchebag. Yeah, no, but that's where we're at now in the world, where it's at this point, everybody's just looking for shit to be offended by because everybody wants to be a victim because everybody wants to have a story. And now you got a bunch of people who were really raised in a cookie cutter environment. It's not the same as it was when we were kids. Kids are raised a lot softer. It's a lot cushier for kids. So now they want shit to be victims by, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't buy into it when people are like one of the things that bothers me is I'm diagnosed with PTSD. Like, and that's hard for me to admit because I don't like that bitch ass shit. But I deal with, certain nightmares and certain tics or whatever.
Maybe I have that shit too. Who knows?
But I hate when like some little fucking rich white bitch comes up and is like, I have PTSD. I got into a fender bender and I'm on Xanax. It's like, bitch. One of the reasons, Paulie, one of the reasons I don't like talking about having PTSD is because I know there are soldiers that experienced what I did times a million. You know what I mean? Yeah. They have, and they're not walking around bitching about it. So I don't. I just, I adapted to it. I sleep a little bit less. So what? But yeah, John, no, like. Remember back in the day when fucking Aaron Neville used to sing the cotton commercials? Remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man.
That's how soft they are nowadays. So that's
you know what? To speak on John V, yeah, they are softer. Let me tell you why. Like I said, my pops growing up, man. I mean, and even now, he's 70-something years old, heart transplant. That dude's harder than a fucking brick, bro. That guy is still tough. And I look at him, and you know what he told me the other day? He said, son, you're the last of a dying breed. And I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, they don't make them like you anymore. He goes, after you, it's all downhill. And I go, what do you mean by that? He goes, because these fools can't handle the stuff that you guys could handle. These guys couldn't handle getting whipped the way I whipped you. They can't handle, getting yelled at and, criticized, even though you were doing something right, you still, I mean, he was hard on me.
Mm-hmm.
But, I look back at it now. I look back and I think, man, if my pops wasn't like that with me, I wouldn't be the man that I am now, and I look at it and I'm the same way with my son. I'm hard on him. I'm hard on him because I refuse to let him grow up that way.
You got a chill kid though, man. Like he doesn't seem fazed by very much.
Oh, he's a great kid. Let me tell you, man, he's a good heart, good kid, all of it. But it's like I love the fact that we can sit and watch Rocky 3 and laugh when Clubber's like, "Hey woman, why don't you come over here and be with the real man?" And we're both sitting there laughing in this politically correct age that we live in. That shit's not acceptable.
Bro, I am
laugh, man. It makes me happy, man.
I am so anti-PC that I switched to Apple products, bro. Like that's how bad it is. Here, my MacBook, everything. But yo,
anyway, yeah, go ahead.
We got to get into the topic at hand, okay? Because I promised you guys in the description or whatever of this show what we were going to get into. So I put a poll up today. No homo. And I asked my Instagram followers who the greatest hip hop groups of all time are. And yeah, I like this. Andy, my man.
Yeah.
I gotta shout you out for that. Yeah,
Andy. Yeah, nothing but love for Andy right there, man. God damn, man.
And thanks for tuning in. But yo, like this is where I really want you guys to help me out. If you guys are hip hop fans, especially, but even if you're like a casual hip hop listener, the groups I'm about to bring up, everybody knows. Some of them I was actually surprised people were like, "Who's that?"
Who's that?
But I did like a 1 versus 1 for each group. So the first group I brought up, or first 2 groups I brought up in the discussion for greatest groups of all time. And I'll go through the list, and what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll narrow it down and do our opinions on who's better than who. So the first 2 groups I came up with were NWA and Run DMC.
Oh,
so do you want to hear the results on who voted for who? So 56%. 56% said Run DMC, 44% NWA. How do you feel about that?
Wait. 56 Run DMC, 46 NWA?
Yeah.
That's about right. You gotta look at it from this perspective. Not only did Run DMC change the game the way they did, they changed the culture when it came to clothing.
Everything. Yeah.
They changed everything. You know how bad I wanted to have an Adidas tracksuit because of them? You know, and not only that, just their style and the way they conducted themselves, and the rhymes were the best. But then when NWA came out, man, that flipped me out because you got to remember, that was my prime of my life. When they came out, I never heard nothing like that before. I never heard anybody stand up for their hood that way. I never heard anything like that in my life.
Sorta, because NWA gets a lot of credit for being that first in your face hood group.
It was more of a West Coast thing, Donny. It was
NWA was nationwide. There's no question about it. Like they came on the
turn that way.
But here's one of the factors in why I agree with Run DMC getting favored in this vote. Longevity. Run DMC stayed together.
Yeah.
NWA, I'm sorry, but that bickering shit is corny. That whole shit that happened. I understand there was a dispute over, money and whatnot. But the fact that they didn't last, because let's be honest, man, after Cube left, they weren't as good.
Well, yeah, because, but then again, you know what? I'll play devil advocate on this one, Donnie. It introduced us to the first beef, the kind of thing where even my friends and I were divided. They liked NWA, I stayed loyal to Ice Cube. And I remember listening to that first album, man, and Cube's first album. I remember it was it was America's Most Wanted. And that was the day where you could grab an album and listen to it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And all the songs were, and not all, but majority of songs were all good. And that's the thing where I think they just took it to that level. But like you said, as far as consistency and being that group that was just consistent, you can't deny Run DMC that, man.
Let's keep it 1,000 about it, though. Like, if it weren't for Run DMC, there wouldn't be an NWA, because Run DMC was the first hip hop group to come out and be like, we're from the streets. This is how we dress.
Yeah.
People forget that hip hop was very disco influenced before that. Don't push me because I'm close
to the Sugar Hill Gang and all that shit.
And they were hard about it.
But it was more of like a dance party thing. You got Grandmaster Flash and all that shit. But Run DMC, they were the first one to turn a street.
Yeah, exactly. They just weren't they weren't as gritty about it or hood about it as NWA. But let's get to the next two groups. Now, my reasoning for putting most of these groups next to each other, not all, but was because they came out roughly around the same time. So my next group is A Tribe Called Quest and the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, no.
So, who do you think won that vote?
God damn, why do you got to put two of my favorites against each other like that?
This is hip-hop. We got to make it, gritty.
Man, okay. It was more... Okay, how can I say this? Tribe for me, more of a psychedelic, more of a different type of hip hop that I had never heard before.
Mm-hmm.
When Bonita Applebaum came on, I remember being able to play that while I'm sitting with a honey in my living room couch and making out with her. That was what Tribe brought to it. At the same time, I remember having my pool party or little parties at my pad, being able to play, Scenario, with Leaders of the New School popping in. But at the same time, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to tell you right now, it's the greatest group I've ever experienced in my life. I never heard anything grimy with 9+ guys coming out and just going against the norm and just literally pitching stories. I remember being able to put my headphones on and I would listen to Raekwon just flow and just
one of the dopest
every second of it.
One of the dopest lyricists to ever touch a mic, by the way. But
when I heard that shit
about A Tribe Called Quest is another one. Okay. And this is where I go in. Like NWA broke up and it kind of they lost value when Cube left and then Dre left. They lost a lot of value. Like even a reunion would have kind of been like, okay, that's already talking about each other, right? Wu-Tang has stayed a cohesive unit for years. And here's the problem with the Tribe Called Quest. Yeah. I saw them at Rock the Bell in 2008.
Yeah.
And a documentary came out a couple years later that covered that show. And I'm sorry, that was one of the worst hip hop performances I've ever seen in my life.
Which one?
The Rock the Bell's Tribe Called Quest performance. They did good, but it's so weird how you could feel that tension in the air.
Because I got to see Tribe in Frisco, Donnie, when they were in their prime.
That's where I saw it. Was Rock the Bell's 08. It was in Frisco.
Yeah, no, but before I don't know. I think it was, I don't know what year it was, but I thought they did really well, man. But you know what gets me is I've seen Wu-Tang and all their shows are the same. And I'm talking about as far as getting live. I got to see the RZA perform in Hollywood by himself. I got to see the Jizza perform at the Ford Center over in Hollywood. I got to see, ODB perform before.
But
they all just tore it up.
Let me hit you with my point to that though. That beef between Q-Tip and Phife it brought their value down a little bit because it was always very public. You know, people don't want to see that shit. When you come into the game as a group, you better plan on staying cohesive because it works sometimes to break out and do your own thing.
I'm loving John B chiming in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we appreciate you, man. But Wu-Tang, like I have literally seen Wu-Tang, their documentaries, and these guys go at each other's throats like on a tour bus. Like I remember Ray and Meth like got into an
remember they were arguing?
Yeah, and he's like, man, I'll knock you the fuck out. Like you thought, if you were on some sensitive shit, you would have been like, oh, these dudes, they're not gonna ever do a song together again. It was a brotherhood type thing. Everything they rapped about was real. You know what I mean? Like they put that kind of mysticism, that fantasy element into it to bring your attention. But yo, I remember when Wu-Tang came out. Now imagine being a little kid, because I was still a kid when they came out, who was like a huge Ninja Turtle fan, anything having to do with martial arts. And then having these rappers come in and on their first album, they're looking like ninjas on the cover. I had to steal so many tapes when I was a kid. And Wu-Tang was one of them. So
I'll never forget, Donny, putting in that first tape, man, and being able to listen to, not only, I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side, Staying Alive was a little job. Just hearing that, the way they told stories. Yeah, ball bounced on old man. So we moved to shallow land, man. Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Oh, John, are you talking about the show that was like based on them?
Yeah, the one on Hulu. That's what John's talking about.
That opened me up to like I didn't know that there was all that beef going on.
Yeah, I didn't know that Raekwon and Ghost hated each other like that.
Oh, they were shooting at each other, bro. Like it was
shit, man.
It wasn't soft. But by the way, that vote, it was 75-25 Wu-Tang, clearly.
Oh.
I love Tribe, but come on. Wu-Tang, they're still here. You know what I mean?
You know what? That was a tough one, Donny. I don't know how you came up with that one, but
no, these are all.
I can't tell you because I love them both so much.
I had people vote on this. This was these are actually results. Man. So this one's a little bit more easy. De La Soul, Far Side. Who you got?
Ooh, oh, you know what, man? Okay, so De La to me, I just thought it was different. I loved it. Far Side to me was more of a one-hit wonder to me, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way I see it. But De La to me, I mean, they just took on that Tribe tip, man. They just like went off, and I mean, actually, they were kind of. I mean, I to this day, as a matter of fact, today I was listening to De La today. But Far Side, if it comes on, it comes on. De La to me, I'll listen to an entire album.
Yeah, I agree. And that vote was 67-33 De La.
Oh, so shit.
This one, I don't even know why I did this one. They had a beef in the mid 90s with the whole East Coast, West Coast shit. But I think the answer is pretty obvious. Mobb Deep or DPG.
Or which one?
Mobb Deep or DPG.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, you know who I'm going with on that. And let me tell you right now, I got to see his last show in Vegas, man, at the Mirage before he passed away. But Mobb Deep.
Prodigy?
Yeah. Mobb Deep. Yeah, I got to see that last show right there. I was in Vegas. I lived in Vegas. And you better believe it. As soon as I found out they were in town, I got passes to that club, and I got to see it, man. And I'm glad I did, because I've got to see so far in my life. Pretty much, I've got to see pretty much everyone that I've admired growing up, and they were one of them.
That's why I miss those platforms like the Rock the Bells Festival, because it kind of came in when hip hop was starting to die and all this new bullshit was coming in, and it was like our last platform to see all these guys. That was the last time I saw DMX at Rock the Bells. But yeah, so Mobb Deep won that easily, 100% to 0. Like
John V's even agreeing with us, man.
Oh, of course. How could you not, though, man? Mobb Deep is Okay, but I will say this: there was a surprise on here for me. Like I don't even know how these dudes. We'll get to them, but here's one that's a little like I wasn't a huge fan of either of these guys, but Brand Nubian and Slum Village.
And who?
Slum Village.
Oh, okay. So obviously, punks to pump get beat down. Man, let me tell you, Brand Nubian to me, I've always been a big fan. You know, like I said, I was a big part of that New York movement, and they were part of it. And I you know, their album. I mean, their albums were solid. And I've always been a big fan, so I'm going for them, man, 100%.
Here's one thing Brand Nubian doesn't have that Slum does, though.
Yeah.
Jay Dilla.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That's why Slum got my vote, and not only that. And here's kind of it's an unspoken one, and not a lot of people know about this guy, but Slum Village, they brought Elzai into the mix, and if you don't know about Elzai is the one that does the intro to this show. So that's his rapping. And that's from the album Witness Growth. And this dude lyrically is just a monster. He's
disgusting.
Him next to T3 when they did Slum Village together, it was just there was no comparison. It's like T3 like, and Elzai would come in. Elzai had a verse on Little Brother's album. And listen to these lyrics, Paulie. Listen to like the cadence and the compound words or compound syllables and all that he has in there. But he goes, "Don't compare me to jokes. I'll strangle the air in your throat like you jump from choked in midair from a rope. Got a big gun that carry a scope, the flare in the smoke. Keep rappers quiet like words librarians spoke. I'm arrogant, outlandish. Blow your face out and shake out the dandruff. The Jakes won't make out the handprints. Beast. You can't, I mean, there's no touching it. And they're from Detroit, by the way. I love the whole Detroit movement. Let's be honest, dude, Detroit, Eminem, enough said. Detroit.
Yeah, I know you're a big Detroit guy. I know you love that. But, you know, I think the reason I didn't connect with them so much is because I was already a little older. And it just kind of that whole Detroit movement just kind of slipped past me.
You know what? Detroit has that one stain on their music that I don't really acknowledge them too much, but the Insane Clown Posse, I don't know what the fuck you call that trash.
Man, come on, man. That's garbage. I can't believe we're talking about them right now, man. God.
Here's one where you're gonna bug the fuck out because I know you're a big fan of these guys. Mm-hmm. So this one is the Locks versus the Ghetto Boys.
Oh my, what a pity. Mama couldn't afford milk, so we had to suck a titty. That's some dirty shit. And I like it because I'll stab your ass quicker than a Mexican. Man, Ghetto Boys to me, bro, you gotta remember, man, when I'm a big Ghetto Boys guy. And the reason is because no one liked them. No one liked that kind of music until Gangster of Love came out. And then Mind Playing Tricks on Me. I'll never forget 1992, senior in high school.
The fan on.
What's that?
Keep talking. I'm going to turn the fan on real quick.
Okay. 1992, Mind Playing Tricks on Me came out. And it just totally set the world on fire, man. I'll tell you, everybody loved that. You know, that when Scarface was laying his tracks down, and then, this year Halloween fell on a weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys a trick or treat in.
So you ready to get mad?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Locks won 100%.
Oh hell! Man,
you know
what the hell? By how much?
100%. The Ghetto Boys got not one vote.
Man, what the hell are these people thinking, man?
They're thinking lyrics. You got to remember, I voted for the Locks too because I know
you like the Locks.
As dope as the Ghetto Boys were, and my boy, that my producer, he was a huge Ghetto Boys fan. But when it comes down to dude, you're talking Jadakiss. Jadakiss is a
okay. I know Jadakiss lyrically.
Chic Luch,
I know, but they got a female on there, man.
Who?
Do they have Locks have a female on that shit somewhere?
No, it's Sheik, Styles P, and Jadakiss.
Okay. I thought they had, for some reason, one of their songs had a female on it, bro. I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, they featured a lot of. Wait, that right there, Money, Power, Respect was and this is.
I'll give John V that one. That's a good. That's
the Locks are part of the Rough Rider camp. Shout out to DMX. Prayers up for DMX. He's in the hospital right now. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, of course, man. Breaks my heart.
So, and I love DMX, man. And, people always want to talk about like their top 5, top 10. I don't like having a top 5 because it always stays the same. But if you're talking top 10, top 20, DMX easily gets on there. He's one of the greatest to ever do it.
One of the greatest. But let me tell you, Donnie, every time I have a barbecue or some kind of get together, you better believe I always put DMX in the mix in some capacity, man.
Or you know what was dope is back when we used to play football in the locker room before games. You put on DMX, you got your helmet on, you're banging your head up against the locker. There's DMX, a little MOP. It's a wrap.
Yeah, but you know what? Wait, I can't get over the fact people voted against the Ghetto Boys like that.
I knew you wouldn't. But
like when I hear Bushwick, motherfucker war, that's how I feel. Send a nigga to the desert to get killed because 2 motherfuckers can't agree on something. 1,000 motherfuckers die for nothing. I love that shit, bro. And he goes, I'm tired of paying your high-ass gas prices. Come on, man. Come on, everybody.
It goes down to simplicity of lyrics, though, man. You got to remember, this is the 90s when lyrics were very respected. I respect the Ghetto Boys' name, Scarface, all them guys, like, hey, respect. But come on, this was the Locks, man. Like,
yeah. You know what? Jadakiss alone, you can't compete with that, man. Come on.
This next one surprised me. So I did West Side Connection versus Cypress Hill.
Oh, what, man? You know what? I'll never forget 1996, San Francisco. House of Pain. It was Funk Dubious opened up. House of Pain. And then opened up for Cypress Hill at the end. And I'll never forget, funny story, House of Pain. I was so loaded that whole fucking show, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. I must smoke. I don't know how much dank through that day. And let me tell you right now, if people are listening, there's Travis Soviet, Jeremy Dirks, Louis Godinez. If you guys are out there listening, I know I try to send you guys some shit, but I don't know if you're on or not. But I remember I was jumping up and down. I had a cramp in my calf, bro, and I thought I was gonna get trampled to the fucking audience, man. But anyway, when Cypress Hill came out, man, that was just live, bro. I never seen a show so live like that.
Me too, John. Me too. Nas is my personal. Nas is my personal goat.
Yeah, come on, man. Who doesn't love that guy?
John also says that he feels like West Side Connection had to take it home.
Because I've seen them live too, Donnie. And let me tell you, man, those motherfuckers put on a damn good show, bro. But I remember listening to Gangsters Make the World Go Round. I love that shit, man. I'll play that right now while I'm smoking a big fatty.
Now remember what you're going up against, though. You're talking Cypress Hill. Hits from the song, Insane in the Brain.
Yeah. Because the shit is so sticky that it's sticking to my fucking fingers.
These guys have a they have a catalog of hits. Whereas I feel West Side Connection only has 2 albums. So
they basically have one good one.
No, their second one was
good. Yeah, good. Is Cypress Hill worthy? No.
But West Side Connection won 57-43.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
God dang. Man, I'm thrown off by this, man.
It's weird. These are people's votes. This isn't just me. Like, I let people vote on this. So here we go. All right. So Outkast and UGK.
Wow. You know, I'm just gonna say, you know, I'd never heard anything from that part of the region of the country, like, you know, like I mean, Outkast, the first there was a few jams, first few songs that I heard, man. I was like, God damn, I was a little different, you know, but I related. I liked the stories they told, and I thought it was different. When they started getting a little funky on me, I jumped shit, man. I don't like that fucking fur coat wearing shit. I don't like any of that. They should have kept it real, and that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Remember the hype around that new album coming out? It was like what, 2004,
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh, Outkast got a new album coming out," and then they fucking like you saw Andre 3K dressed up like a chick,
bro.
I didn't know what to do with it. I really didn't know what to do with it. I like what sucked was the best thing that came from that album was the chick that played Caroline in the video for Roses. I had like the fattest crush on her.
No shit, dude. No shit.
But Outkast won it 100%. I think UGK is a fucking legendary group.
Yeah, you're right, man. I'm with you on that.
But yeah, Outkast. I mean, Andre 3000 when he's rhyming, he gets down. You know,
I'm just saying for what they did for that region, and you got to remember at that time, it just wasn't that kind of music. It was
so. Somebody sent me a message. They're like, "You're going to bring up Outkast, but you're not going to bring up the Outlaws." I'm not going to say your name because I'm about to get real disrespect.
What's wrong with the Outlaws, man?
The Outlaws fucking suck. Okay, like straight the fuck up. I am sorry if you don't bring the Outlaws to me and then tell me you're a hip hop connoisseur. You are not. Everything. The only thing the Outlaws ever accomplished was ruining Tupac songs. That's what they did. All of his good songs, they would come on and ruin the shit out of it.
You think so?
Yeah, bro. Hail Mary. Pac was not like a great lyricist. Let's just be honest about that. He wasn't a great lyricist.
No.
But when he had a good song and he was
you know what? Everybody gives him those. They give him props for as far as a lyrical standpoint.
Okay.
For the love shit he did. Mama,
no, fuck everybody, because look what everybody listens to now. Everybody's opinion is shot to me. Period.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But no, like you get like a Hail Mary, you know, Pac's rhyming, and all of a sudden they got an APB out on my thug family. Shut up. Me Against the World. Good song. Easy Moby produced it. Really good song. And then you got the Outlaws coming on. Fuck out of here with that.
Wait. Who's the one that said, "Hey, buddy," whatever? Your motherfuckers, no, because your kids won't grow. But what the fuck is the name of that one, bro? That fucking Tupac song, man. I can't remember.
To be honest, I'm not a huge Tupac fan, so that's what it is. But next group, we got two groups: Beastie Boys versus Public Enemy.
Shit. Okay, I got Beastie Boys on my wall right now. I'll fucking go over there and show you. You know, you know what? Is there any way I could walk over there and show this, Donnie?
Can I? Go ahead.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead. John V said, "What the fuck is a little bird?"
Little bird. Okay.
Yeah, it's the wrong guy.
So, Donnie, look at this behind me right here. Okay. Look.
Yeah. I already know. I've seen that.
I know, but look at what I got right here, bro. I got Run DMC and Beastie together, man, in Amsterdam doing their shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously they set the tone for me because as a young kid, I was in 8th grade. I never heard nothing. I never heard white boys rapping. I never heard any of that. But I don't know, man. That's a tough one for me, bro. That's a tough one.
John, stay on, bro, because I got the Tupac versus Biggie vote. And I'm going to bring that on soon. So I'm going to just say we're going to move on from this one. It was 50-50 and even 50-50. And I'm going to keep it that way because it's so hard. Two legendary groups like the Beastie Boys.
I can't do it. I can't pick against either one.
I think 50-50 is a good result. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. EPMD
Oh,
or
my.
okay, and these are two different generations, but EPMD or the Roots.
Oh, come on. I'll tell you right now, I'm going with Eric. I'm going with Eric serving the Green Eye Bandit. I can't fucking stand it.
Yep. So let me just give you the results. It was 75-25 to the Roots. And here's my problem with that. Here's my problem with that. Remember, I was just talking about Rock the Bells. I love Black Thought as an MC. I like I
love it. Yeah.
They are the worst hip hop performance I've ever seen in my life. I don't ever want to see an MC standing there rapping into a mic on a mic stand. And you're talking about windy San Francisco. This was in it was Pac Bell Park at the time, but that parking lot off to the south of it was just up for Rock the Bells. And you're talking San Francisco wind at 4:00 in the afternoon, and you're trying to hear a band. No. And Black Thought was just standing there. Like, we got bored. And then luckily for us, Cypress Hill came on afterwards and got the crowd.
Set it off.
I think,
kind
dude.
of like me as a kid growing up, putting that tape in and hearing, oh, what the heck? Let's get married, have a son named Eric. Oh, fuck, come on. Don't even get me started.
Yo, 4 words for why EPMD wins this. You got to chill. Period. Done.
Dude, you know what? I'm going to bust that shit tonight when I'm listening, man, when I'm in bed. I'm going to put that shit on my earphones, earbuds, or whatever you call them.
What's the joint? Is the employee of the year? Yeah, we back to work.
Back to work. Time off.
Got jerked due to the fact whacking they track, man. Come on,
man. And not only that, the collaborative shit, the shit they did with other rappers. I mean, you can't touch it. You can't.
Okay. So here's where I get pissed off. Okay. I put these two next to each other because they kind of flow around the same camp. They didn't really come out at the same time, but it was close enough. So Slaughterhouse. And G Unit.
Man, what was the old time fucking whatever from Slaughterhouse? What was it called? Hammer Time, or what was it called? The song
Hammer Dance.
It was, that shit was fucking lyrically impressive to me.
Yeah. My favorite was their first, I don't know if you call it a mixtape, or it was an album. But when they first got together, it was their first collective of work. I remember the first song on there was Sound Off. And I was blown away. That whole album was dope.
Man, I got the chills right now thinking about that.
Yeah, now get the chills thinking about this shit. G Unit won that 64.
Oh no! But
what the fuck?
I'm
like,
not gonna lie to you.
Look, we just lost viewers because of that.
What happened?
We just lost a couple viewers because of that. I literally just watched the numbers. I know it looks like only John is watching, but it's not. There's just a bunch of people not commenting. Maybe they're on your page. I don't know. John, by the way, when we start coming out with Mama Luke's t-shirts and hoodies, you're getting free shit because you participated in this.
We're gonna fly John out.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be on the show. Man. But look, this was his comment about. Didn't even put words. This is how he feels about G Unit being over Slaughterhouse.
Okay. I'll be the first to admit, when I get fucked up and I'm at a house, I'm in my house throwing a barbecue, I'm guilty of putting G Unit on just to get the dishes.
No. G Unit is okay. Don't get me wrong, but over Slaughterhouse?
No, come on, man.
Here's my issue with G Unit. Here's my issue. Tony Yayo is fucking annoying. I don't want to hear that guy rap. His voice, it's just some dude yelling. You know what I mean? Lloyd Banks was nice. Young Buck was okay. Here's what got me about G Unit. 50 Cent has disrespected those guys publicly so many times. Like, treats them like little kids, and they still come back for more. I lose a lot of respect. Yeah. I don't care how rich you are, dude. You're not gonna sun me on national TV. It's not happening, bro.
Hey, you know who Nick Diaz is, the fighter?
Mm-hmm.
So I was living in Vegas and I was partying at the Wynn and at their pool party. I was partying there. And I lived right next door to there. And me and my boys were there. And Nick Diaz was there. Not Nate, but Nick.
Okay.
And he was there. I said, "What's up, Nick? I'm from Cali, bro. What's going on?" He's from Lodi. I'm from Gilroy. You know, we're talking, and we all went back to my place after. I'll never forget. Somehow, Windows Shopper came on, and Nick Diaz was ready to fucking box everybody in that motherfucking house, bro. He got so amped up and fired up, huh?
Over a window shopper?
Over Windows Shopper. I was like, wait. I was like, whoa, what the fuck, Nick? You like this? And you know what? That was one of the highlights of my time living in Vegas. Is that I had Nick Diaz in my condo listening to Windows Shopper trying to fight people.
I think John will probably co-sign this, but 50 Cent's best album was not even put out when he was already famous. Guess Who's Back? The album that got him discovered was his best album.
Yeah.
A couple of those cuts made Get Rich or Die Trying, which was a fantastic album. It was phenomenal. Yeah. But lyrically, he was better on Guess Who's Back. He was still hungry. He was still pretty gutter too. The next one. So by the way, G Unit won that, and I'm sorry. Lyrically, no.
No.
Longevity, no. That group is a fucking mess. They were cool when they came out. They had one album. Anything else after that, nobody knows about.
The Slaughterhouse is just. I don't think people realize how strong they are, man.
This is where Slaughterhouse. I feel like. It belongs up there, like put some respect on that name. It belongs up there with some of the greatest groups because it's a group that was formed after solo careers were formed.
Yeah.
Usually formed before and then solo careers are branched off. Mm-hmm. These guys put egos to the side to form this Voltron of hip hop. And you got East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. All in one.
Lyrical
monsters.
Like Voltron, bro.
Yeah. And I was, and it makes you proud to be from the West Coast.
Yeah.
When you got a guy like Crooked Eye representing for you. Because that dude is one of the nastiest MCs in the game.
Hands down.
Royce the 5'9", I mean, he's looked at as Eminem's protege, but that dude is nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a lot of his shit on my phone, man. I listen to that shit almost while I'm driving every day.
You ain't even got a lot. The only one I'm kind of like lukewarm about is Joel Ortiz. I'm not the biggest fan, but he's dope. I agree. I'm more of a Budden fan. And I to be honest, I feel like Budden won that battle against.
And you know what? I love how Budden. I love the fact that he stands against that mumble rap shit. The way he did fucking Quavo and all those fools, bro.
Oh yeah, I put that video. I put that video on my Instagram today. I put that video on my Instagram today. So the next one, it's not really done in percentages. It's Tupac versus Biggie. Who's the greatest MC? Woo! So basically, what happened is if you got on my Instagram,
who the fuck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning.
If you got on my Instagram today and you guessed Tupac, it told you got the wrong answer. Biggie is by far a better lyricist, a better rapper, a better songwriter than Tupac. I'm sorry. You know why I can say that? Because Tupac has like 27 albums. Biggie has 2, and they're in the same conversation.
You know what? How disgusting was that video? Can we reenact that somehow? Can we have someone film it? Because I'm nice and chubby right now. I want to say that, man. When that video first came out, oh God, talk about giving me chills. But just on top of that, but then I go back to Tupac as well, and then you look at Brenda's Got a Baby, that whole first album. Remember that whole first album when Brenda's Got a Baby and all that shit? I'll never forget. I kind of like that album. I'm not gonna lie. But then when I saw that video, when I first saw that, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got the chills and I want to reenact it. Can I be Biggie? I'm all fat right now. I could be like that. Who the fuck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawn. God damn, man. I'm gonna listen to that shit tonight too.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't hate Tupac. I think he's done fine work. But when we're talking about MC, Biggie was just far superior. And if Biggie were to
Far
answer,
superior.
I'm sorry, Hit 'Em Up gets way too much credit as like this amazing diss song. It fucking sucks.
Well, you know what?
Lyrics.
I kind of like. I mean, motherfuckers, your kids gonna grow. You know, I mean, I got fired up for a little.
You know
bit.
what makes it whack to me, though? You know what makes it whack to me is that Tupac wasn't really about that life, and this is where I don't like Tupac as a person. I'm not saying I don't know the guy.
He was a digital underground dancer.
Well, that aside, like, I mean, Jay-Z was the Hawaiian Sophie thing, like, whatever. All that aside, Tupac was never a gangster. Straight the fuck up and down. He was never a street guy, period.
Yeah.
It was an act. There is a fucking video interview that he did in high school where, you know, no diss, but I would have thought he was gay if I didn't know who he was.
No. How about when he was in those plays where he was wearing leotards and shit?
Well, but even that aside, though, Paul, here's what I'm saying. He never did anything in the streets to get the credibility he was trying to claim.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It made me hard to believe it when I realized that he was in ballet. He was a theater guy wearing leotards. I'm not down with it. Okay, I'm cool with it that you're artistic, but you can't convince me that you're street after you're over here wearing leotards acting on stage. I'm sorry.
It would be convincing if he was doing that in his spare time of, like, you know, being out in the streets, because there are guys that are very artsy that were gangsters too, but Tupac wasn't. He didn't start that whole gangster act until he was already rich, which is just whack to me.
Whack, man.
There's nothing more whack than being a multi-platinum selling artist and then claiming you're a blood. Soulja Boy, Chris Brown.
Don't even mention that fool, dude. I cannot. If that's one guy, I wish I could slap around and sold that Soulja Boy, man. God dang.
I swear, if I ever see Soulja Boy, I will catch it. I want to
right now.
Shit out of him.
I would probably do prison time. I'd get a tattooed teardrop and come out ripped after a year. I'd be like Magic from Blood In, Blood Out, just ripped.
Yeah, fuck that clown. But here's my thing, though. Like, Tupac didn't have to have that whole, like, you know, I get slammed for saying this all the time. I like Me Against the World better than I like All Eyes on Me. Yeah. Now, I understand that production-wise and theatrics-wise, All Eyes on Me was a better album. But Me Against the World was a little bit more realistic. Yeah. That, you know, Tupac fighting for the underprivileged and the underdog, and that's what that album was more about. Black Power, which is great. He came up in the Panthers, so yeah, keep it at that. I understand where he was going, but what a lot of people don't understand is that act got a lot of people hurt, including you know, people don't realize unless you're out here on the West Coast, and I'm sure it happened back east as well, but you know, out here we have the gang culture. And people were dying left and right because of Tupac's big fucking mouth. Period.
Yeah, you're right, bro. He caused a lot of shit, man. And that's what I'm saying. It was hard for me because I go from watching you dance around, man, watching Digital Underground and setting parties off like a clown off to the side, and then I see you coming out with Brenda's Got a Baby, wearing UNLV shit, and then, you know, I was like, I didn't know where he was going, you know?
Paul, and you can vouch for this, Paul. You can vouch for this. Out here on the West Coast, it's not about how many bodies you got. Like, at least back then, it wasn't about how many bodies you got. It wasn't about how, you know, what set you rep. In order to get respect on the West Coast, it didn't matter what you were about, as long as you stood by what you were about.
And you were real.
Yeah, it was all about keeping it real. Yeah. And being respectful of somebody else's grounds. Now, the other problem is when you get, I'm going to put that up, John. Give me 1 second. So on the West Coast versus the East Coast has a lot of shit talking, which I got East Coast in me, so I do it. But one of the things I had to do on the West is we don't really play that out here. You can't fuck around the way they do on the East Coast. That's why the West Coast has turned kind of soft. On the East Coast, you could call somebody a faggot, a bitch, and all that, and you're still going to be cool. On the West Coast, you had to be very, very respectful of anybody, unless they were really close to you. You couldn't just play like that with somebody you didn't know. So I don't feel like Tupac had to put on that act. I don't really think he did in order to get respect, but he wanted to, and that is why he's dead. Okay, there's no conspiracy theory about why Tupac died. It wasn't the FBI. It wasn't Puff Daddy. It wasn't nobody.
He ran his mouth too much, man.
No, he punched a Crip in the face.
In the face.
Okay. In Vegas.
Like they're not going to retaliate out there. Vegas is basically L.A.
No, the Crip he was from L.A.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't go do shit like that.
He got himself involved in a Mob Piru versus Southside Crip beef. Okay.
Yeah.
Went and punched that kid, Baby Lane, in the face. This dude is a known killer. And you could sit here and say, oh, fuck that guy all you want. But, okay, Tupac did that to himself. Okay? Like, Baby Lane was literally just trying to keep that respect on his name. He can't go back to his hood after that. After, oh, Tupac snuffed me and I didn't do nothing about it. You know what I mean?
You know what was puzzling to me, Donnie, is I worked the Vegas market as a medical rep, and the hospital where he died was one of my accounts, and it would baffle me when I would see people still to this day lighting fucking candles and shit up there, and I'm like, God damn, man. I'm like, really? This guy fucking, I'm telling you right now, to me, I used to like listening to Ice-T stories more than Tupac's when I would listen to High Roller or fucking goddamn Colors. I mean, that shit was real to me, but I always thought Tupac was so fake when it came to shit. I didn't believe it, but for people to be lighting candles, I'm like, God damn, man, it's been fucking years people still doing this shit. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he didn't put out good songs. Dear Mom.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that either.
California Love's a classic.
Round and round we go. I love that shit.
To me, lyrically, that was the best song he ever did. Lyrically. Yeah. Back to get wrecked. All respect to those who break your neck to keep their hoes in check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come on.
But just keeping it real, Tupac had a gimmick and it was corny. I'm not saying I hate the guy. I'm just saying when you listen to a big record, there was a whole different, you felt that dude really he really lived what he was rapping about.
Yeah. Back in those days, you got to remember, man, we didn't have the shit we have now. And I'll never forget being able to listen to Illmatic and being able just to lay in my room, dude, with the lights off and just hit play and listen to everything from beginning to end and say, God damn, at the end, you know how tapes used to get quiet after they were done? And I would think, shit, man, I just listened to one of the greatest things I ever listened to in my life. And it's very rare, but Tupac never made me feel anything like that at all. I'm just sorry. I hate to say it. No, I don't want to piss people off.
So, John, I want to elaborate on this a little bit. So I didn't put Bone on here.
It's the first of the month.
Because it's so hard to put them up against the group. Bone Thugs kind of came in and changed the game a little bit.
You know what? They talk a lot of shit, Donnie. Right. They say they're better than a lot of people, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
But that's hip hop, though, Paulie. Like, you got to remember, like, it's a very competitive market, and I get that. I didn't want to put Bone on here, though, because I didn't really feel like there was a group that came out at the time around the same time as Bone that, like, really hit the market the way they did. I mean, that's an Eazy-E backed group. They really came in. They were different. I was never the biggest fan of Bone, but I put respect on their name. This too as well, John. You were saying changes. That's the Tupac I liked. I really liked. When he was sending a message out. I see no changes. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I love that. That was Tupac at his realest. You know what I mean? That MOB shit. Hey, bro, like, you're not a gangbanger. Stop it.
Man. Stop.
When you listen to a Biggie record, man, like, I know how it feel to wake up fucked up, pockets broke as hell, another rock to sell.
So
People look at you like you's the user, selling drugs to all the losers, bad.
abusers. Yeah, I love that shit, bro.
That's real. And
Yeah. I look
feel
at Tupac, I see Bishop from fucking Juice.
yeah, I see a guy that saw a gimmick and tried to sell on it, and it's I don't, I put on a Biggie record, I feel it. Tupac, it's hard to get past the gimmicks. I got respect.
Honestly, the girls like it, and that's about it to me.
Yeah, he was an amazing songwriter. Don't get me wrong. Lyrically, he was subpar. Songwriter-wise and putting things together and making having a delivery for it, great. I just think he undersold himself and really kind of gave himself to a lifestyle that he didn't really need to. He had the respect of the hood already. He didn't have to start gangbanging and doing all that shit. You know what I mean? But exactly. Yeah, it's very current with what still goes on, and
it's a debate that could go on all night, Donnie. It could go on all night. Everybody's gonna have their opinions about both, man.
No, I like what he's saying here, though. He is. So this is why, John, on previous episodes, if you watched this before, I sometimes get political on here because it baffles me to no end that people are voting for. I'm not saying go be a Trump supporter. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm also telling you, don't be a fucking supporter of the party that has been proven the most racist for years. The guy we got in the office right now is the guy that passed the 94 crime bill that put hundreds of thousands of black kids in prison for drug crimes. Okay, this is where the current political climate lies. It's believe whoever has the popular vote of pop culture, of your actors, don't look to your actors and singers for political advice. I guarantee you, if you listen to when Tupac was smart and he was trying to tell you something, listen. But go further back to a Malcolm X. He warned you about Democrats. Then Tupac came in and warned you again. And nobody listens. Oh, I'm voting for Joe Biden. He's going to save everybody. What the fuck has he done? Besides touch a little couple kids inappropriately. It's come on. But I don't want to get into politics.
Yeah. Let's not even go that route, man.
But Tupac speaks on it. And that's why, yes, it's very relevant today. It's very, very relevant. And that's the Tupac I would like to have seen more. You know what I mean? But I will say
what I wanted to see more from him. I like this fun shit. Enough of the whole. He just should have stuck with that. He was, the guy was known for having those fun type of jams, party setting jams. That's what I knew him as. Growing up as a teenager. That's kind of what I knew him as. And then when he, he was completely opposite from what he was doing, man. But anyway, I want to hear more, man. Do we have anything else or what?
I was going to get into factions, but we're going to save that for another one. We're going to close out tonight with kind of giving everybody a sneak peek of what's to come. So we brought it up before. We got the Mama Lukes. And I know we've talked about it on other shows. If you want to just tune out, that's fine. But here's what we're going to do. Okay. Because of time and all this stuff that's been popping up, and I've been going to school and I graduated, and Paulie's got stuff going on. He's got family coming out. We are putting together a more comedy-based show for you. So every time you giggled in here, just think of that the whole episode.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, that too, right there. We also have a Star Wars show that we're building because we're fucking Star Wars nerds over here.
Nerds, bro.
You ain't. Come on now. But so the Mama Luke's is coming. We're gonna be prank calling people under characters. You know what I mean? Paulie's got a character named Donna who actually sounds like a Donna.
Hello, hi. This is Donna.
See, there you go. One day I really thought it was a chick. We got
Just stories, bro. Fun stories to tell, man.
We're going to be sharing stories. We're going to be doing, I mean, it's going to be insane. We got guests coming on. Paulie knows like every Hooters chick in New Mexico. They all want to blow him, but you know what? We're going to give them a little FaceTime on here, and it's going to be great. We're going to have guests. If you guys want to participate and get on the show, tell us the story. We're going to be talking about exes. We're going to be getting opinions from women on their experiences with men and what they, what you don't usually hear from women.
I'm laughing just thinking about the shit that we're going to talk about. My God, man.
Yo, like we run this by each other like almost daily on the phone. And every time we're about to hang up, we're like, dude, we should have just recorded this whole thing. Because
we're on the phone for like an hour, like, God damn, man, this could have been a fucking show. You know how many people would have laughed at this bullshit?
Well, usually the way you and me start a phone conversation is by quoting something from The Sopranos, right? So I was like, I said my piece, Chrissy.
I said my piece, Chrissy. And then, holding little Cossetti's like, she must have crawled under there for warmth.
Oh, what's the one you do? Paulie's mom.
Oh, Maron. Oh, Maron. That's Sammy Kwan. I love Sammy Kwan. Oh. Ma, why are you crying, Ma? You better wipe those peeps, Ma. Huh? Anything for my queen. Oh, yeah. Maron, I can't believe my son makes me live like this.
But so that's literally how we start conversations on the phone, and then we just start like swapping stories, like crazy ex-girlfriends.
We were just talking today about my daughter. Her middle name is Meadow, after Meadow Soprano. And let me tell you, it is the most accurate fucking name I could have ever given her. Because she is Meadow Soprano. Shit, man. She talks shit. She's Meadow.
Yeah. No, just before this episode, we were backstage doing it, and she was just talking shit to her dad. Like, he's like, hey, can you help me? She's like, no. I'm like, God damn, man.
I'm like, turn the TV down. No, Dad. No. Give me a tuna Sam, Dad. Tuna sandwich, Dad. Shut the fuck up. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, John. So this is going to get a lot more organized. Like, we kind of just came on it. We've been winging it. And it's really just to kind of like keep our appearances up, because I haven't really been on here in a while. I've come back to Nitty Gritty Niners.
Hey, all I know is wait till John hears, I've done motherfucking told your ass 5, 10 times, nigga. I done told your motherfucking ass, nigga. I can't wait, bro, when he hears Montreal.
Yeah, we got Montreal. I got a character that I used to prank call. His name's Big Dick Dominic. Yeah. And he calls a chick and reminds them about how they met at a club at one point. And they never seem to remember it at first, but if I call the right chick, they'll start questioning whether or not they slept with this guy.
Yeah.
So,
dude, we're gonna be doing bits on like my Mexican heritage, talking about, oiga, ¿qué andas haciendo allá, hijo? No te dejes que andas con esas mamadas, mijo. Oh, dude, I cannot fucking wait.
We're gonna hit my Italian heritage, so it's gonna be a fucking laugh, right?
Oh,
and yo, like another thing we're gonna do is if you got somebody you want us to prank call on their birthday or something, we're on. So I used to do a thing back when I was in high school. I'd smoke a little weed and I would go through the phone book. Now, anybody remembers the phone book? You could get almost everything you need to call a person and their information. It'd be his name, his wife's name, their address, and then Google started coming out. So you might even be able to Google a little bit about them. And what I would do is I would call as a radio host and just be like, yo, you've won the midnight sweepstakes. And they're waking up. And, if you get the right ones, if you're like, you just won $10,000. And then they're like, okay, but then you tell them you got to do something to do it. So I would literally have guys like straddling their wives and farting in their face.
Hey,
and they would be so pissed when they found out they didn't win anything.
Bro, I can't wait, Donnie, to be able to tell these people's stories about like my dad, because I lost my wife years ago and I haven't been remarried. And my dad gives me all these lectures about, mijo, you need to find yourself a good woman, mijo. Not any of these ladies that like those Louis Vidal bags, mijo. You need a good woman. Even if she has gold teeth or silver teeth, mijo, you could take her in and go get some dental work done, mijo. As long as she knows how to make tortillas and cook you a good meal, mijo. Yeah, so lucky. And I'm like, and he's like, you get her some dental work, and then you could even take her to the 99-cent store at the Dollar General, and she won't even know the difference, mijo.
Racking it.
I can't wait, bro. Woo!
Yeah, so we got a lot coming, guys. Yo, Andy, John, you guys are the only ones that commented tonight. There were more people on I could see. I don't know if they're on Facebook or YouTube. You didn't
nothing but love, folks.
But these guys are getting free shirts and shit. So when we get those pressed up, we're going to get you on there. This has been a production by This has been a Shoot the Breeze Networks production. I didn't even do the promos at the beginning. I just got back, man. Thank you so much, John, man. You've been a major player in this game.
MVP tonight, man. I'm telling you right now. John, you come out. You need a good time. You come out to Albuquerque, New Mexico. You got a place to stay here, man. I'll show you a good time out here, John. We'll have a good time going to Hooters, man.
Yeah, he'll take you to every Hooters, get you free drinks, But yo, we're going to be back soon. It's going to be fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Shots in the Dark. I am Donnie Darko. This is Paulie Walnuts.
I said my piece, Chrissy.
It's crazy out here, man. I mean, there's a lot going on in the streets. There's a lot going on in the ghettos of the mind. I'm saying I write rhymes. Check. Feel my pain like it was yours. Crack addicts busting right through my doors. Bleeding on my lawn, I'm destined to be great. I swear, Jesus, read it on my palm. Tipsy, I'm calm, then I blow up like Vietnam bomb.